Means a lot. I've been through, seen people that I love struggle with mental health, and had my eyes open, I guess, to exactly what it is, how it can affect everyone's life, how many people are affected by it, and trying to figure out my own mental health stuff now that, I've kind of gone through some stuff and just learning more and more. So to me, mental health is a lot. It's so important. It's a new priority for me in my life, and what I represent. So yeah, I think it's massive in our field. The added pressure that athletes are under, the social media stuff, I think is a huge part of it, unfortunately. Players have a bad game and they're having fans say horrible things to them. So much of their life is put out there that a normal average student might not have their life put out there. And so we're just in front of, you're on TV a lot, you're just around in front of so many people. And so, as a player, it's really hard. You've got to just kind of, even on your bad days, you've got to keep going, and because you don't want to show it a lot of times, because, that's part of it is, I want to end the stigma, but there still is that stigma. And, for athletes especially, as coaches were saying, be tough and tough it out. And there's some things to tough out for sure, but mental health is not one of those things where you can just suck it up and just be tough. So even for me, for my coaching, it's just changed so much to understand even that aspect of it, for athletes. So I think, the support word that you said there is good. Just being around genuine people that, people every day, you go in and get a coffee and people say, hey, how are you doing? Right? To those people, you can maybe say, oh, I'm good. But the teammates, the coaches, this, place does a good job at asking and truly being like, are you actually okay? It's even, just because you're around each other so much and it is family environment, they know when you're struggling. You can maybe fake it out into the world that where people don't know you that well, but when you come in here and it's family, they're like, okay, no, something's wrong. So I just think having that genuine support and being able to it be a safe space to talk about it and for it to be okay. It's okay to not be okay here. And so I think that's helped me big time in the last little bit. Kind of like I just said, it's okay to not be okay. I think a lot of times people are scared to say something because they feel like it's not okay. And just know that there are ways. It's not easy sometimes to find ways to get help, but there are, and I've done it for myself now. And so for me, just kind of explaining how to help them, offering my support, being genuine in it. And then even on days where people do seem good, being genuine, making that extra, hey, are you actually okay? Or, when they do open up, it's okay that you're not okay. It's not a bad thing that you're struggling. And so I think that's for me, especially that's how I, handle it well, is if someone is truly like, okay, I see that you're struggling and that's okay, but now let's figure out what's next. It's kind of like for me, it's, just, all right, it's okay. Yep, this sucks, but what can we do? And then just reiterating, I always have their back. No matter what, no matter who they are to me, everyone needs help. And if someone's taking, has the courage step to talk about it and say, hey, I need help, that's a positive thing. That's a good thing. It shouldn't be looked at as a bad thing. So just celebrating and supporting them in that.
Mental health means to me basically the things that we deal with that you can't see physically. It's just basically what affects you and how you just react to things, how you feel about things that necessarily people can't see out in the open. A lot of things that we deal with ourselves and just life in general. It relates because a lot of times as athletes we focus on our physical body, being fast, being strong. And as an athlete, you have to use your brain a lot. So that's also something that we have to work, that's a muscle as well. So it goes hand in hand because for us to have our best games, we have to be at our sharpest mentally. Our IQ has to be top notch, especially at the collegiate level. So just those two going back and forth. So when we deal with certain things, if life's kind of crazy, it's hard to just separate that, and a lot of times, especially when it gets overwhelming. So I think it goes hand in hand, just trying to be sharp mentally. So as an athlete, as a basketball player, being sharp on the court. So. just being there every day, you know, checking up, especially when you might think nobody notices. But being here every day with our teammates, with our coaches, they see us every day. So when we're not necessarily smiling like we used to, laughing, playing with each other and things like that, you can tell when something's really affecting somebody. And family and friends are just constantly checking in, you know, because being a college athlete, a student athlete, it gets overwhelming because you forget that you're a student and it's not just about the athletic part. So then you also have your life and things like that. So just having your friends and family, your teammates, our coaches, they constantly checking on us every day, and just making sure that we're sharp mentally. I think it all depends on what the help they're asking for. You know, whether that be seeking a therapist or just needing somebody to talk to or listen to. I think that's what we kind of forget a lot of times is just being that listening ear. So like when somebody's talking, you're not listening to respond, just listening to hear what they have to say, hear what they're feeling and things like that. I think is the best way to help others when they do ask for help and actually taking that seriously. You know, not just trying to brush it off like, oh, you're having a bad day or anything like that. Just listening to those around us. Because sometimes all we need is for that person to be like, are you okay? Or just somebody to vent to, you know, when you're able to get all of that off your chest. So if somebody came to me, I'm always, you know, open to hearing. Like I won't necessarily listen to respond to you because a lot of times I don't even know what to say when people are going through things. But just having that helping hand or that shoulder to lean on, and just somebody to listen to you and let you get that all out is a great way to help.
It means just making sure you're taking care of yourself so that you can take care of other people. I think a lot of times people take care of other people first, but you can't really do that if you're not taking care of yourself. People ask a lot of you as an athlete, and we ask a lot of ourselves every day. We do more than that, I think, the average student. So making sure you're taking care of your mental is extremely important in order to produce what you're producing and not losing yourself in the process. I think just the biggest thing is your teammates. When you're dealing with mental health, like, no one understands what you're going through more than your teammates and like the people that are in the trenches with you every single day. So just knowing that you have that support system, whether it be just talking about something that's happened during the day or supporting each other with some like different things that can help with that. And then I think the coaches too, just encouraging us, because like a lot of times their opinion of us is the biggest and most important thing to us. So hearing positive reinforcement for them and just them believing in us, I think is a big thing. First of all, I would tell them to keep everything in perspective. The big things aren't that big and the small things aren't that small. I think controlling what you can control is something that people have told me for years and I haven't really grasped until now. But as far as mental health goes, like, everything in perspective is, I think, the biggest or the most important place to start. And then after that, I think you can kind of take one step at a time, work through what you're going through. But just keeping things in perspective is, I think, the biggest thing with mental health. For me, at least.
To me, mental health is just finding what works for you and sticking to a routine and adjusting that routine if needed to maintain